How did you interact with the idea of Nelson Mandela? And how does his example inspire the leadership that you've brought to bear on the international stage?
Regrettably, I never met him. But for all of my life, he was a symbol of that person who had been unfeared. I don't use the word injustice or any of those things. I keep it simple. Because as a child, we all were taught about the need for fairness. And yet here was this man who was imprisoned for my entire childhood. When I went to university in London, the movement against apartheid was live and real. And I had the good fortune to see and be a part firsthand of those calls to ensure that the world stopped being an accomplice to the crime that was being perpetrated against the people of South Africa purely on the basis of race. I can never forget the Sunday morning when he walked to freedom. I mean, it is etched in my mind, and we were there in Barbados, thousands of miles away, as if he was just outside of our own house. His example, and that of very few others, was one of strong moral leadership. And when I speak today of global moral strategic leadership, there is no greater example, an icon of it, than Nelson Mandela.
You said
equally, and let me finish. I just finished giving the Kofi Annan lecture, and it is ironic that he too was of that similar vein in terms of global moral strategic leadership. That Africa could give this world in the post-World War II era, in the post-United Nations era, two men of absolute great character, ahead of their time. And for me, the greatest example of Nelson Mandela was in the moderation of the use of power. Because power is not meant to be abused. Power is meant to be moderated and to be utilized for the benefit of ordinary people. And when, therefore, power was given to him and he walked away from it, knowing full well that his was not a gift of immortality, but his was a gift to be a teacher and to be a bridge to another generation. He played his part in the relay and have left it for us to be able to pick up the baton and to continue and to build upon it.
I was just going to say, I dare suggest the baton is in your hand, Prime Minister. You asked...
I'm not sure that I'm equal to the task, but I am sure that his is the lesson and the star to which we must all aspire.